We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you're watching. We are back with another episode of Biz Talks. My name is Rick Gutierrez, your business advocate, and happy to be here with you once again this week. We're excited for this week and the continuing shows that we're going to be having. We have amazing guests that are going to be talking all about business tips, tricks, and all kinds of education. And we are excited and delighted to bring back to the show, because it was such a big hit last week, Miss Emily Galindo with Next Level NIA. Welcome to the show, Emily. How are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me back, Rick.
Fantastic. Hey, we had a great conversation last week, and you were brought back by demand. You became really, really popular on the show. Last week, we had a lot of great questions, a lot of great comments. So we said, why not? Let's bring her back one more time to see what else you can teach us this week in terms of network marketing, referral, network marketing, all of those great things about that topic. And I think you've got a great, amazing topics to talk about today that you actually wanted to highlight. And I think one of those things was, how does a business expert become an expert within a referral networking group? How does he become that person, that go-to person?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think, first of all, having the right expectations, right? Depending on what industry you're in, you can't just walk into a room of strangers and declare yourself an expert. That's just not really how it works. Whether you've been in the industry and in your business for 20 years, you have to earn the right to people's referrals, right? Because our referrals are our credibility. They are our reputation. They are, that we've been out here cultivating this book of business of these clients. And we're not just going to freely give those over and those introductions over to just anybody who walks in the door and declares themselves an expert. So I think that having the right expectation, that setting yourself up for success is going to take time. I think that's one thing that a lot of people miss in the networking world, especially if you're in certain industries that require extra amounts of trust, like being a lawyer or financial services and banking and those types of things, where I have to have a lot of trust in who you are before I'm able to give you those referrals. So you have to prove yourself that you can be helpful, that you are going to handle those clients with care, that you are an expert at minimum in the industry that you represent. And the way that you do that, quite frankly, is just showing up for those people, asking, how can I help you? What can I do? Being a steward of your industry by giving away that knowledge for free to those networking people that you're trying to cultivate relationships with is probably going to be the tip number one. Whether that's on your social media, whether that's in person at a networking event, but giving away the information. And I know that we charge for that. So it's kind of you don't really understand, like, why would I give it away when I need to charge for it to make money? You give it a little bit away to establish that you are an expert, right? Here's a tip that I can help you with. And then they get results from that. And you keep doing that and it repeats. And then people start to believe that you know exactly what you're doing. And that's when you can start generating referrals from those people that you're meeting and those referral partners.
Absolutely. So it's all about being who you say that you are and being the business that you say that it is, and just showing up. I think that's one of the big key elements right there. For many of us, there's a lot of times to where we show up, but we don't show up the best version of ourselves, right? So it's all about building that credibility with our members and being able to be one, and sometimes even become one that you are known as to being that dependable person every time that you are asked to do something. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So one of the other things that was discussed last week and people wanted more information on, they wanted to discuss a little bit more about what makes Network in Action different from any other networking opportunities out there. What does Network in Action offer?
The two things that I think that Network in Action offer that the traditional networking space doesn't is going to be value add meetings. So for those, typically a 90-minute meeting anywhere you go is going to be, the same 60-second elevator pitch type style meeting, or a casual meeting where you're just handing out business cards and you get what you want out of that experience. At NIA, we absolutely want to utilize that time with us. And so we are constantly providing business resources, training, education, tips and tricks, actionable things that you can take back at the end of the meeting and implement into your business that's going to increase revenue, increase operations, or streamline operations. That's going to make your business better. So aside from networking and those relationships, we are also bringing value to your business. The other thing that I think is really, really important is that we are ran by by professionals. I've been in the networking space at the executive level for international organizations, doing this work for over 10 years, as well as you. And, we stand in front of the room as the business owners, knowing that our skills can benefit people and benefit their referral opportunities, and it's going to grow their business. And by being a part of our organization and being a part of our groups is going to benefit them in the long run. And so it's a win-win for both of us. And most networking organizations, it's you come, you show up, you do the best you can. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. You don't have to renew, but we don't feel that way. We need our people to want to stay and be successful. And so I think those are the two biggest things. And by doing that, we help the people save time and money, and make more of it.
So would you say that by listening to you, would you say that NIA is member focused and not so much visitor focused? Of course, we do have visitors that come into our meetings and whatnot, but it's more about being member focused. Would you say that's a correct statement?
Absolutely. The members are our number one focus, because we don't earn income, right? As business owners, if they don't want to stay, and if they aren't getting value from our membership, then they don't stay. And that impacts us on a personal level. So it really is incumbent on us to want to build that value. And so we are 100% focused on, in two ways, making sure that they're getting the introductions and the referrals that they need and want for their business. The other side of that is, as you said, we do have visitors, but we don't expect our members to bring the visitors. As the business owner of the group, it is our responsibility to go out into the community and find people, experts in their field, right? And bring them into the group that are going to benefit somebody else that's already a member. So when you come into being a member in NIA, part of that interview process is understanding your business and understanding who good referral partners are going to be for you. And then it's on me and you to go out into the community and vet and find the experts in that field that we can then potentially bring them in as a member for that other member to do business with. That's on us. And I don't know of any other organization that does that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for elaborating on that. One of the other questions that did come up throughout the week was Network in Action. Does it limit its members from doing additional networking or joining any other networking groups?
Absolutely not. There is no in marketing, there is no silver bullet. And so we need everybody, and I would encourage anybody, whether you're a member or not, to be a part of multiple types of organizations. There are 5 or 6 different types, and maybe another time I can come on the show and kind of get into the more details of all of the types of networking organizations you should be a part of. But we absolutely encourage our members to be out there sharing their business, networking, building those referral partnerships, because the only thing that's going to do is help them build their business. And that's all that we are really focused on. So we want them to be a part of multiples.
Well, after all, we are business advocates, right? So we do advocate for our members to network as much as possible. And if they cannot find any networking events out there, to reach out to us, and we can guide them as to what is available out there and what events that we can recommend to them for them to attend to help generate additional referrals, build relationships, and ultimately take their business to the next level. Emily, I've got another question for you, because we were talking about subject matter experts being the members of these referral networking groups. So one of the questions that came up was, what are the qualifications? What is an expert? How is a business owner qualified as an expert in their field?
I'm not going to speak about industries across the board, but in NIA, the way we would determine an expert is you have at least 5 years of experience in your industry. Not necessarily with the same company, but definitely in the same industry, same service and products, right? 5 years. We do that for a reason, because not only do we want you to make sure that you know what you're doing, we also want to know that you have spent 5 years in that industry cultivating your own book of business that you might be willing to share with the rest of the group. But 5 years in business is a minimum expectation to be a part of an NIA group. All
right, wonderful. I appreciate you elaborating on that, because there's a lot of business owners out there that just started their business maybe 6 months, a year ago. But if they've been in that industry for 5+ years, that would also make it okay, right? That would make them an expert in their field, would you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's say a journeyman plumber, right? That's been working underneath somebody for a really long time, learning the trade, learning the business, and then eventually decides to want to go out on his own. Definitely has the work experience that would qualify to be a part of our group, but may have just started his business 6 months ago. And we look at that as an opportunity to help them thrive with the expert knowledge that they have already learned over the years.
Awesome. All right, Emily, thank you so much. We've come up to the end of this segment, and we appreciate you showing up again today and educating us a little bit more on network marketing. We thank you, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime in the upcoming shows. Hopefully you'll have the time to join us again. I know that you have a busy schedule, so thanks for joining us. And folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after these.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Welcome back to Biz Talks. In case you are just now tuning in, my name is Rick Gutierrez and I am your host. And up next, we've got an amazing tax attorney who has been practicing tax law for a very, very long time. So this is what I consider to be a subject matter expert in his field. So we are eager and happy to welcome back Mr. John Mitchell. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Yeah, hey Rick, good to talk to you again. Happy to be on the show and happy to bring some excellent content for everybody out there. Maybe find something that people can use.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great show because, you know, there's a lot of folks out there in the business world that chimed in last week and wanted to know a little bit more about your practice, you know, some of the other topics relating to tax law and all of those things. So we're going to dive into some of those things. And one of those questions very quickly, just wanted to know, is Cantrell and Cantrell allowed and or licensed in other states?
Well, sure. Yeah, we can. We can touch on that. Sure. Cantrell and Cantrell is, as you know, based right here in Houston, Texas. But what we do is we practice federal tax law, and you know, federal tax law, as the name would imply, is federal, and so we have clients all over different states in the United States as well as internationally. So I mean, there's no, if your problem is with the IRS, or if your situation has to do with taxes at all, then we certainly are able to help you, wherever you may be located. So the attorneys at the firm, most of them are licensed in Texas. I'm the only outlier. I have a license in Mexico. So I'm a foreign licensed, as well as just passed recently, several months back, passed the California bar. So I don't have a Texas license, but most of the attorneys there are Texas, and then I'm the outlier, but we can handle people from all over, no problem.
Does that include international aside from Mexico? I heard you mention Mexico, but can you work with folks that are maybe expats that are still have ties to the United States, but they're living abroad?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but yeah, we do have some folks that are international, U.S. folks that are expats, and we've got people in. I'm handling a case for somebody in Dubai right now, United Arab Emirates, and we've had folks down in Chile and Argentina, Canada.
Nice.
So we've got a smattering of international. I just mentioned Mexico because that was the main one that we deal with. But if you're an expat, then we can definitely take care of your U.S. tax situations, no matter where you are in the world.
I think from now on, you are going to be known as Mr. International, being that you can take care of so many around the world. So I appreciate you answering that for us. One of the other questions was, tell us a little bit more about Cantrell and Cantrell. How do you guys set apart from all of the other firms, aside from taking care of many international folks?
Right. Well, Cantrell and Cantrell, I've had the privilege of working for the Cantrells for about 6 years now. And thing about that firm, my boss, Mr. Cantrell, one of the two Cantrells, is a CPA, so Texas Certified Public Accountant, as well as being a tax lawyer board certified by Texas Board of Legal Specialization. And he has been over 50 years holding both of those licenses. So I like to tell this story, and this is a true statement. Whenever Neil Armstrong said one small step for man, yeah, my boss, Mr. Cantrell, was already working at the IRS at that time. And so that is not years, but rather you could say decades of experience. Now, his wife is also a board certified tax attorney and a Texas licensed CPA, as well as being board certified in probate and estates. And so she, has a little bit wider focus. And the other partner in the firm, Derek Mata, had worked for the government, so he's got about 20, 25 years experience between the IRS Chief Counsel's office and as a special United States attorney. So there's not many tax cases that we haven't seen. I mean, even me myself, I got 30 years experience, and I'm a newbie by Cantrell standards. So, one of the things we always say, we strive for perfection, but sometimes we have to just settle for excellence. And so we got a very deep level of experience, anything to do with taxes. And that kind of sets us apart. We're a boutique firm, so it's only about 10 of us in the office, and we specialize in tax. That's pretty much all we do. And that kind of sets us apart. We're not one of these generalists that try to do everything. We're also not one of these giant big firms that have 100 lawyers and we're charging $1,000 an hour either. So we have reasonable rates, and we get excellent results for our clients.
Fantastic. Well, you were talking about Neil Armstrong touching the moon. If my old memory serves me correctly, that was over 50 years ago, was it not?
That is correct, yeah. So Mr. Cantrell was at the IRS, if memory serves me correctly. He spent about 10 years at the IRS as a revenue agent and then an appeals officer. And so it was about 10 or so years he spent there. And that was starting, I think, right around 1967.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, I would say those are decades of experience, of course. So with that being said, you guys, being in business for such a long time, you see tax laws change, being added, being adapted in some ways, shape, or forms, and sometimes even modified, right? So I know that here recently the IRS implemented a new tax law where the new tax law is basically the Corporate Transparency Act, which is so new that a lot of businesses out there, business owners, still don't know what this is or how to take care of it. Obviously, one of them is to call John Cantrell over at Cantrell, but let's talk a little bit about that. Let's dive into that a little bit and explain what is the Corporate Transparency Act.
Basically the Corporate Transparency Act is a law that went into effect toward the end of last year, so 2023. And basically what it is, well, actually took effect officially January 1st of 24, I should say, better yet. So what it does is basically it establishes a big database, and you just have to register if you have an entity, an LLC, corporation, whatever it may be. That was the key word here is that your entity has to be filed with the Secretary of State's office or the equivalent, right? So if you got something like a trust that's not registered, then that does not fall under the purview of the Corporate Transparency Act. If you got a general partnership that's not registered with your state, that also would not fall within. That's a couple of the exceptions. But most businesses in the mid range are going to have to just fill out the BOI, what they call it, beneficial ownership interest report, and that's under the Title 31, and that's Corporate Transparency Act. That's filed with FinCEN. In case you don't know, so there's the Treasury Department, and under the umbrella of Treasury, there's IRS, and then there's FinCEN, and so FinCEN is the one that does all the bank reporting, like if you deposit more than $10,000 to your bank. They handle all that kind of stuff. And basically all CTA is, it just establishes a repertoire, I don't know what you would call it, like just like a database, I would say, of information. So each company that fits within the purview of a CTA has to register and show who are the flesh and blood human beings, as I like to say, behind the curtain there, right? And now there's exceptions to that. There's a small company exception. If you have sent or received less than $1,000 and your company is not actively doing business, some of us, even I have, LLCs, for example, that I formed them back in the day, thought I was going to use it. The project didn't end up taking off. And so it's basically my LLC is, a folder full of paperwork in a drawer somewhere, right? That's not going to be subject to reporting requirements. And also big companies, banks, insurance companies, brokerage houses, those are highly regulated, and so they're not worried about, it's not going to be subject to CTA. CTA is really trying to catch middle of the road things, and it's really an attempt to, circumvent any kind of money laundering type activities, terrorist financing, things like that.
Sure. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for diving into that a little bit. I know that there's a lot of business owners out there that are wondering, what is that? Never heard of that before. How do I know if it's been filed or not? So I know that there is a deadline for when that needs to be filed with the IRS. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I sure can. The deadline, if your entity was in existence before January 1st of 2024, then you have until December 31st of 2024. So if you have a company that you formed last year, the year before that, whatever it is, you got really until December 31st to go ahead and make that reporting, okay? Now, if your entity was formed after January 1st of this year, then you got 90 days to file the initial report, okay? And that is good. That time frame is good through the rest of the year. So anything that is formed 2024, you have 90 days to report it. Now, starting January 1st of 25, that 90-day window is going to shorten to 30 days. And so you form a corporation, you got 30 days to, file your initial report. And I should also point out that if you file a report and you find out there was a mistake, oh my God, I accidentally, named my dog as the owner of the company instead of me, well, you got 30 days to go ahead and fix that. So, 30 days to make a corrected report. And also if there's any changes, your company moved, addresses or whatever, or changed ownership, whatever the case may be, changes that occur, you should report those changes within 30 days of the change happening.
All right, John. Well, thank you so much for diving into that and telling us a little bit, educating us more on that. We certainly do appreciate it. Thank you for being here this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into a brief commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
Hey folks, welcome back to Biz Talks. We're happy that you're here. We're happy that we're here for you. We are back with Mr. John Mitchell. We're talking tax law, all kinds of things that relate to attorneys that deal with tax, and Mr. John Cantrell is an expert in tax law. So John, thank you for staying here with us. We are definitely happy that you are. We've got a couple of more questions for you about Cantrell and Cantrell services, additional service outside from tax law. I understand that you guys do estate planning as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct, Rick, and thanks for having me back on the show. Appreciate it. I am absolutely, overjoyed and overflowing with enthusiasm to get, some good information in the hands of people. And I know you'd wanted to talk a little bit about, estate planning, and that's a very important thing because, we never know what could happen, right? Like I could walk out into the street today, get run over by a UPS truck, right? And so you don't have time to, once that happens and the unfortunate event, whatever it may be, and now I'm, flying off to the other world, such as it may be, and now, now my family's left holding the bag. So, you got to get some planning done up front. It's very important stuff. So happy to, chat with you about that. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I know how important it is because we see it day after day. It could be a natural disaster. It could be something that we just don't know what the future holds, right? And how much we are going to, how long we're going to be here, basically. And the importance of estate planning. Do you handle that personally for your clients, or do you have staff in your office that handles that?
Well, no, I mean, in our office, the attorneys do all the substantive work, right? So we have support staff that will do things like answer the phone, send out bills, maybe handle some correspondence back and forth. But all the actual legal work is done by by professionals, done by attorneys in the firm. Now, that's not my main area. In the firm, I do a lot of IRS controversy work. So which means, just like the radio commercials say, do you have IRS debt, give us a call, right? So that's kind of work that I do. But I do dip my toe in the waters a little bit and do a little bit of estate work. Written a few wills. Was working, on a medical power of attorney, and a living will this morning a little bit with a client. And so we do the whole gambit, and that's very important. I gave kind of an example of I could get run over by a FedEx truck and die. Well, that's not the only thing that could happen. I mean, you could have a heart attack and you're not you haven't passed away yet, but you're incapacitated. You're in the hospital. Well, who's going to be there to make those medical decisions for you if that happens? It's a little bit late to be kind of guessing about what what should happen once you're already laid up in a hospital bed, right? So the idea is to be proactive and get these things kind of ironed out, get your friends and family familiarized, get your directive to your physicians all ironed out before you need it, right? Like I read a book once several years ago that said, don't wait until you're thirsty to start digging a well. So I think that's pretty good advice.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you elaborating on that again. So let's say you have a client who has taken care of all of their estate planning needs and all of that good stuff, but sometimes a lot of us, myself included, sometimes we get that taken care of and then it's kind of like a set it and a forget it type of situation, right? Years can go by before we even look at it again. How often do you recommend one of your clients in estate planning to come back into the office and review it with you for any additional changes in family and whatnot that could potentially benefit in making those revisions to the estate planning?
Life happens, Rick, and we go through life, and major events happen. Kids are born. People pass away. Divorce happens, and remarriage, and all these kind of things take place. And so, definitely, if any kind of a major event happens in your life, that may want to trigger you looking at updating all your documentation because like we like to say about these estate planning documents, these are living documents. They're meant to be updated as you go, right? So if you're a person in your 30s or 40s, you may be able to get by with not having major updates to your documents, every 3, 4, 5 years, right? But especially, a guy my age, I'm in my 50s, and the people my age, I usually recommend folks at least every other year make an appointment, go in, sit down with your attorney, and go over and make sure if there's any changes that need to be effectuated in those documents. And then, Father Time is cruel, and time marches on, right? And so as you get on up there in age, retirement age and beyond, I mean, some people even say that you should go yearly on that. Maybe once a year, every year, go in and update those documents and stuff because you got a will, you got your power of attorney, your medical power of attorney, your financial power of attorney, all these estate planning type documents. Major changes in your life can have a big effect on that, and just make sure that you keep it up to date because people sometimes think about the cost, and I know hiring lawyers is expensive. I know I've had to hire a few, and so you don't want to waste money, but at the same time, money this is not an expense so much as an investment because taking care of these things after the fact and fighting things out in court, that can be way more expensive than just going in and getting these things updated on a regular basis. So it's like changing the oil in your car. You want to rotating the tires. I mean, you want to do all of that stuff on a regular basis. Keep up with it.
Absolutely. So it's something that most people, neglect. A lot of changes happen throughout our lives. We get married, we get divorced, we have additional children, insurance policies change and all of those things. So you are correct. Estate planning documents are living, breathing documents, and they need to be updated as life changes, with us and as we move forward in life. So I appreciate you explaining that a little bit. Now,
sure.
John, there are some folks out there that are thinking, wow, well, I've got this particular case, but I wonder if John is the attorney that can potentially help me. So in order to educate those folks watching right now, who is that ideal client for you that you can help, hands down, and you can take them all the way?
Right. We really like to deal with small and medium businesses, say $1 to $10 million, and also individuals, with certain net worth, like the owners or principals of these type of business. So make sure that if you come to see us, And we'll screen this, by the way, if you call us for an appointment or whatever, we'll ask a couple of qualifying questions and make sure that you're within the range that we're going to be able to, effectively help you, because some people, are just not in that range. I mean, it would not be viable for them to spend the type of money that we, charge per hour to handle cases. It's not worth it. So we don't make sure that you're worth it. But yeah, usually it's, high net worth individuals and small and medium businesses up 1 to 10 million. Now, if you're over that, you're also probably outside of our range, because you probably need a bigger firm with more, more attorneys and more capabilities. So there's a sweet spot, right? And our sweet spot is in those low millions.
And would you say that if there is a potential client out there, someone that's looking for more information, and if they don't fit within that ideal client for you, you have resources and folks that you can recommend them to get them that assistance that they need, correct?
Yeah, one of the things that I always do, I don't charge an initial consultation fee. So if you want to hop on the phone with me, shoot me an email, whatever, I'll spend 5, 10, 15 minutes on the phone with you and see if we're a good fit. Now, some people are like I deal a lot with IRS controversy. So let's say a guy calls me up. This happened just 2-3 weeks ago. Guy calls me up. Yeah, I owe the IRS $9,000. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but look, I'm going to be asking for a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 retainer just to start working on your case, right? It's not worth it for you. So what I did is I took about 20 minutes or so. I sat down and I wrote out an email for him, step by step, how he might go ahead and take care of that problem on his own, right? So I'll do that for you. If you're, if it's not worth it to hire me, I'll, kind of try my best to point you the right direction. And if it's something that is outside the realm, right, that I don't handle on a regular basis, and I don't feel I can be effective with it, then I certainly have a network of attorneys that we can refer people out to, right? Like friends that I've known, for 20 years, 30 years that are going to do a good job. So I'm not going to recommend you to somebody that's, that I don't know or whatever. So, if the case that merits it, then I would, definitely be recommending, give you a couple of names you can call and try and get somebody better suited to whatever it is you need.
And in business, that is what I call amazing customer service. You being able to take time away from your schedule to hop on a call and listen to see if they are a great fit, and if they happen to not be a fit, recommending them and taking the time to craft that email. So thank you for doing that. We have come to the end of this segment. Thank you, John, once again for being here. We appreciate all your knowledge and your expertise. We look forward to seeing you on the upcoming shows. Stay right there, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back, folks. This is Biz Talk. We're happy that you're here, and we're excited that we are back. We've got another amazing subject matter expert in her field, and she is well known around town, and she is definitely an expert when it comes to many things, tax and books for the business and all of that good stuff. Nora, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Hi, Rick. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here once again. You know, there was many talks, many questions that came up after last week's show, and people want to know more. People want to know more about Nora's books. You know, what do you guys stand for? What is your mission? What is your vision for Nora's books? So please feel free to elaborate a little bit more on that as to what you guys stand for, and give us your mission and your vision for your business.
Sure. So basically, Nora's Books is tax and accounting firm. We do service nonprofits and small business owners, basically to facilitate the growth of financial growth for nonprofits and business. We want to create the impact and the leadership, and actually enable leaders to create the impact through their projects. And I like to think about the nonprofits as business as well. So whenever I say business, I mean nonprofit as well, because both entities, whether it's for-profit or for non-for-profit, they both technically need a profit. Mm-hmm. So we actually help business owners and nonprofit leaders to actually grow their business through paying attention to their financials, looking at numbers, making sure everything makes sense, making sure that they know where they want to go. So we help them through that. We want to make sure they have confidence in their leadership. They elaborate on what they want to do with their clients, their donors. So we help them. We actually hold their hands to make sure they actually reach their goal, and while staying in compliance at the same time.
I think we can all agree that what gets measured gets done, right? And that's the reason why keeping an emphasis on the numbers, making sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to where we are in business in terms of the numbers for the business, because that's the only true way of seeing the health of the business, whether it's a for-profit or a nonprofit, as Nora mentioned. Great stuff, Nora. We appreciate you elaborating a little bit more on that. Let's talk a little bit more about the fractional CFO services that you offer for businesses. Tell us more about that. I'm actually interested myself in knowing more about this service.
Sure. So a lot of people know about bookkeeping. So, and they think like let's go to a bookkeeper, let's get an accountant. But when they hire someone as a bookkeeper or an accountant, they think they will get all the service. They will look at the number. They will know where do they go? They monitor their cash flow, they get the advice. In fact, no. In order to get all of these services, you need to actually go another level where you can get CFO services, which stands for the Chief Financial Officer. So usually in big companies, you would see the CEO hand on hand with the CFO, with this Chief Financial Officer. So they both have to be planning everything together and go together. Now, for a small business to hire a CFO, it's going to cost a lot of money, because a good CFO can cost you more than $250K a year, which is a lot of money for a small business owner. And this is just the start point. So in order to actually have the same benefit, this is a rising career, like when you have a CFO, which some people call it fractional CFO, some people call it just CFO service, some people call it part-time CFO, whatever like you want to call it. It's actually a high-level accounting service where it's not only bookkeeping, it can be with or without, depends. So some people have a bookkeeper and then the CFO. It depends. But literally, like, you would have someone to look at the report, to look at the numbers, make sure you are reaching your goal, make sure they manage your cash flow. Sometimes, like, we have a compliance component, which I always recommend for our clients. So at Noura's Books, we have 3 levels of CFO services, and where you also can adjust it. We can customize it for your needs based on your business. We measure KPIs. We make sure you are achieving your goal, recommend things that you need to change at your business, make sure your cash flow is perfect for your business, make sure that you see the growth you need to see. This is when it's called now CFO service, because it's no longer just after fact, it's before facts. You actually impact the after fact reports by planning.
Right, so it's basically like having, I think I heard you mention, a high-level financial service provider in your company that is not necessarily on board, where it's well over a 6-figure payroll for the company, but they get the benefits of having that high-level financial eyes on the business numbers so that they can continue to drive forward. So amazing. Thank you for joining. Thank you for mentioning that, Noura. One of the other things that we also talked about here in the last couple of days that we wanted to know more about is that you have a mastermind that it's basically an initiative. I think it's called a 7-figure fundraising mastermind. Let's talk about that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this is my signature program for nonprofits. It's called Noura's 7-figure nonprofit mastermind. Basically, people have to apply to join my mastermind, because we want to make sure actually they are a good fit. So basically, like, if someone goes to the website, they can actually apply, fill on information, and book a call with me where we can actually talk and see if the mastermind's gonna benefit the person or not, the nonprofit. It's actually helping you building the capacity of the organization, building the donor base for the organization, because if you do not have a donor base, you're not going to be able to even get grants. You're not going to be able to financially sustain the organization. So you have to be able to manage the donor base in order to actually sustain the organization. So in the mastermind, I teach my impact method exactly to people so they can actually have a framework to grow the organization, to build the capacity of the organization, to have a strong donor base where they can have recurring donors for the organization, and be ready by the end of the mastermind to actually start acquiring grants. Because a lot of people, they think they can start the nonprofit now, apply for exempt status, and then after that, they can go ahead and apply for grants. And a lot of people do that and waste money and time doing that. This rarely works, actually. You need to have proof that you can raise money yourself, you have the capacity to manage the money. That's why you need to build the capacity of the organization to get significant grants. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your money and time. A lot of grant writers will take you and they will just write you the grants because either they won't have experience yet and they don't know what it's going to take for you to get the grant, or, well, they just tell you what you would like to hear. A lot of other grant writers, they won't even do it. They will help you build the capacity. And unfortunately, a lot of nonprofits, they don't want to even go through that. But like no one I know of that teach you how to actually get the donor base in order to help you grow the capacity. Because you need to have money to build, to actually hire the grant writer, to hire an accountant, to hire people who can help you build the capacity of the business. But in my mastermind, I help you do all of that. We offer financing, we offer payments plan for people who cannot put it, um, upfront. But this is going to be the best investment you will do for your nonprofit if you really want to succeed without exhausting your resources of time and money.
Fantastic. So I knew that there had to have been something within the seven-figure fundraising mastermind that we were just not all aware. So going through your website and reading your website, amazing content on the website, but there's nothing like having a conversation about it and having you, go over every single topic within that mastermind. So thank you for sharing. So there is something else on the website that I'm actually very curious about myself, because there is something that you do speaking events, I believe. You have content where you go to different events and you do speaking events. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So in speaking events, like, of course, I do have my YouTube and everything, but I'm available to be booked for speaking. I have 3 signature topics I love talking about, which is building a successful business, women leadership, and impactful nonprofit organization. I like to speak about these 3 topics, and I'm available to be actually doing speaking on stages or actually doing workshops, so I can help people with any of these 3 areas.
Awesome, Nora. Thank you so much for all of this education, valuable education, and great content. We definitely do appreciate you being here once again on Biz Talks. It's always a great time getting to learn more from you, and thank you for coming. So that's it, folks. We don't have any more time, so we are out for this week, but we are excited for the next week's show. Please stay tuned, and until then, take care of each other.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri, and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart